I know how I operate best in those conversations. I need to know the purpose. I need to be prepared. I need to be present. I need to be clear with what I'm asking and how I'm answering, and then just chill. The Business Owner's Journey. I'm Nick Berry, and I've got real business owners telling their real stories, sharing their real lessons and strategies so you don't have to figure it all out on your own. One of the best leadership exercises that I learned to do for myself and for the clients, the business owners and leaders that I worked with, and I would say that it's one of their favorites also, is what I call this leadership and opportunities exercise. So it's built on the stakeholder awareness. I talk about the 6 leadership muscles: stakeholder awareness, critical thinking, communication, adaptability, growth mindset, high agency. Stakeholder awareness is your understanding of all of the different individuals and groups that you as a leader have an opportunity to influence, in this case, in specific situations. And so this exercise, this leadership opportunities and intentions exercise, this is a chance for you to influence the way that these individuals and cohorts think and view you. So we want to be aware and be intentional with how we approach those situations. This is something that I do at the beginning of each week, and the leaders that I work with and coach, I have them all do the same thing at the beginning of the week, and it just starts out with first the awareness. What are the opportunities, leadership opportunities that I have this week? I need to be thinking about who are the stakeholders that I'm going to have these interactions with. And the list could be infinite. The idea isn't to cover all of them. The idea is to cover the most impactful, or the ones that maybe you need the most work or preparation for thought-wise. So, example, myself from this past week, one of them was a coaching client, someone that I'm coaching. Another is a podcast guest. Another is a new business contact. So those are 3 specific interactions that I was going to have for that week, that I wanted to prepare myself ahead of time so I could go into them clear and prepared and be intentional as a leader. So start out with who are the stakeholders, and then what's their state of mind? What's the landscape? What is their worldview, all the way down to their perception of me or the situation that we're in? What are my functional objectives that I need to accomplish? Are there work things I need to get done that I have to check some boxes, while at the same time wanting to make sure that I'm coming across, I'm being the way that I want to be as a leader. How am I seen already, and how do I want to be seen? And then how do I want them to feel? What do I want to give them a sense of coming out of, or during and after this interaction? And then from there, we were able to start to work on, how do I go about doing that? How do I create that perception and that feeling? What are the things I'm going to say? What are the things that I want to do? What do I not want to do? How do I not want to be? How do I prepare myself for that? And then how do I want to be when something unexpected occurs, which always happens? The idea isn't to plan for everything. The idea is to put yourself in a state of mind to be ready to be intentional, and then to stay in line with that thinking as the situation evolves. So I'll give you some examples from the 3 stakeholders that they happen to be individuals, but it could be a group. If you're a team meeting, staff meeting, leadership team meeting, those weekly meetings are always on my list, because I want to be aware of what they're thinking, most likely, how I'm being perceived, how do I want to manage myself going into that. So the coaching client, this is someone who I've been working with on their business, and the landscape of their situation. What they're in the middle of right now is they're having, I would say, a slightly stressful and maybe an uncomfortable discussion with business partners, but healthy, not unhealthy. But it's a fine line. And then the typical business stressors are going on. My intention with that person is I don't need to bail them out, right? He can handle this. I need to guide him through, let him do the discovery, but let him do it. if he has specific questions for me, that I can answer him, but I don't need to try to make him more comfortable with it. I need to let him think his way through the things that he knows and solve this on his own. And so I'm trying to give him what I want him to gain from our interaction is it's just a sense of clarity. If I feel him getting like muddled and less clear, I need to like help him move the fog out of the way. I want him to leave our interaction feeling more clear about his steps. The stakeholders, for my examples, a podcast guest, and this it will be it's a guy that I know that he'll be a killer guest. And I'm super excited about it, but he is overloaded with his businesses right now. I know it. I think he knows that I know it. So I've got to take that into consideration. My intentions are to be considerate while still getting the job done. I'll have to use, my judgment as we go to make sure if I realize that it's not worth getting the job done, like getting him booked, getting this taken care of, then so be it. That I'll make that call. But right now I think it is. I've just got to figure out how to do that, knowing like I'm going to have to meet him more where he's at and do more of the lifting, the heavy lifting to make sure that it works for him. He's just in one of those places that you kind of go through when you're going really fast and have a lot going on and new family members, and he's a business owner. And so what I want to give him a sense of in these interactions, I'm making things lighter, not heavier. I don't, if he gets an email from me or a text from me and he's like another thing, like that's going the wrong direction. So I want to approach my interactions with him from the angle of, all right, he doesn't have much to give right now. I know exactly, like I've been there. So I'm not coming in with heavy asks. I'm coming in with like light offers. I'm going to do as much of the figuring out as I can. Then the third example that I have, a new business contact, someone who I was introduced to through another acquaintance. And so got a huge business, several huge business. He's a go-getter. But our mutual friend thought that we should meet each other. So we got connected and had a call. Like I know his perspective coming into this most likely is he's thinking, okay, here's somebody who was sent to me and said that they should be part of my network, but I need to evaluate that. And so he's coming into the conversation to see like, what am I about? What is Nick Berry about? Is this somebody that I want to be in my network? And I'm kind of doing the same thing, right? So my intentions coming into that conversation are be me, like be authentic. I want to be very purposeful, very present, very prepared, have clear asks, have clear answers, and enjoy the conversation. I'm going to do some homework and make sure I know enough about him coming into the conversation that I have some talking points if needed. I have some information that I think will be material to him that have ready to share. But that's it. Like I know how I operate best in those conversations. I need to know the purpose. I need to be prepared. I need to be present. I need to be clear with what I'm asking and how I'm answering, and then just chill. What I want to give him a sense of is I appreciate who you are. I appreciate your accomplishments. I'm not overwhelmed by your accomplishments. Having outlined those things in varying degrees of detail in preparation for the conversations, help me just see my plan a little bit clearer going in. It has never turned into causing me to overthink in the moment. I may have early on overthought a little bit with how much went into the outlining the opportunities and intentions. But you find what works for you. It all becomes very habitual. Your subconscious takes over, but I feel like my behaviors are much better guided with this than without it, even though I'm not sitting there thinking my way through a playbook when I'm having these conversations. The thinking part of it, like that went into the preparation, like right beforehand, getting my information together or, getting in the mindset that I wanted to be in. But it's a very powerful tool for me, and it's been a very powerful tool for the people that I've worked with. I learned sort of from a guy named Art Petty, who is an executive coach, an emerging leaders coach. Smart. And when he and I were working together, he has a kind of a leadership framework. I mean, his is more sophisticated than mine. And he would make me talk about the opportunities and intentions, and essentially walk through the something very similar to this. He didn't give me a set of questions, like a process like I have now, but like that's where the inspiration for this came from. And I mean, I still use it. So I've shared it with anybody that I can share it with. So Art Petty, artpetty.com is the guy where I got the inspiration from this. He's more the master. All right. So opportunities and intentions, one of the 6 leadership muscles, stakeholder awareness. The whole idea here is to make you more aware of how you can influence others and how they see you as a leader, and how you can take ownership of your role as a leader and be more intentional about being that leader in your business. If you have any feedback or any tools that are complementary or similar to this, let me know. I'd love to see them. Thank you so much for listening. If you found the show valuable, you can say thanks and show your support simply by taking a quick second to like, share, and comment on the show. You can also find more information about each of my guests, all of the resources from the show, and myself at nickberry.info/tBOJ.